Coming up, a full hour of highlights from the New Variety Art Show. Please join us as we say goodbye to some very good friends. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
And now a man who will soon be in reruns, encore presentations.
Thank you very much, Van. Appreciate it. Hi, everybody. I'm Brad Zinn, your host on this special hour of the New Variety Art Show. This is our anniversary show and sort of our swan song as we say goodbye to some very good friends and take a look back at the past year of the New Variety Art Show. If you have any comments or questions about our program, of course, we'd love to hear from you. And we have a number where you can do that. Area code. So please give us a call and let us know if you've enjoyed this past year of the New Variety Art Show. Now, Van,
yes,
I'm going to miss you an awful lot.
I'm going to miss you,
but
too.
I know that people can come and see you.
They can?
Yes, playing every day at...
You mean I won't be in reruns at the Phoenician?
Oh, well, that'll be under a separate contract.
Oh, okay, all right. Yes, they can come see me every afternoon.
Yes,
for tea.
At the Phoenician.
Right.
Very good. The award-winning...
Now you can come and see me.
That's
you have
right.
Nothing to do anymore.
I won't have anything to do. I'll be able to come and see you. Well, you know, we have a lot of people appearing around, a lot of friends appearing around the valley, and we want to let people know where they can do that.
Yes.
And so we have some billboards that we've put together, and we want to tell everybody about, first of all, coming up the Lynn Roberts Show, the Big Band Jazz Show, which is January 21st. I'll be there at Alhambra High School Auditorium, 7:30 p.m. The high school is located at 37th Avenue in Camelback. Tickets will be available at the door, and the doors open at 7 p.m. It's to benefit the Sexual Assault Recovery Institute. And the International Brotherhood of Magicians, local Ring 55, is going to present an all-star magic show March 19th and 20th at the ASU School of Music Theater. There'll be two completely different shows, so you can come both nights and see two different magic shows. For ticket information, contact 934-2057, and that number is to a gentleman by the name of Dick Stites. That is not the ASU School of Music Theater. Please don't get them confused. Now, here's some of our friends. We tell you every week to support variety arts in your community, and this is where you can do it. Kim Welsh is appearing at Via Luna up on Bell Road and at Maryland's Mexican Food Restaurant. And Kenton is also at Maryland's Mexican Food Restaurant. They're there on different nights. Flash Covington is out at Cafe Creole playing his jazz saxophone. And at Rawhide doing a little bit of magic for the folks out there. Please call ahead and make sure that they're there before you go, because we want you to show up on a night that they're actually going to be there. Kevin Barnes is at the Excalibur Hotel in Las Vegas. Now, he's there, I think, just about every day. And Michael Finney is at Trump's Castle, opening this month, January, in Atlantic City at Trump's Castle for 5 months. Boy, are we sure excited about Michael's success. And Fiddlin' Saul Rudnick can be seen at the King and I Coffee House and at Tony and Maria's Pizzeria. For more information, of course, call us. That's the number. You know, we've had the presidential election this year, and we elected the Clintons to office. The Clintons. Now, you know, this is going to be the first time now in 12 years that we're going to have a young person, Chelsea Clinton, who's 13, the first minor child living in the White House since Amy Carter. And I understand that Chelsea has been working on her transition to the living in the White House. Time magazine reported that she was in contact with Amy Carter, no doubt to consult with on nuclear proliferation, so she can help her dad's re-election chances.
Why do I
4
feel
years
like
from
Ed
now.
McMahon?
Well, I realize that Chelsea Clinton is only 13 years old, but the Clintons are from Arkansas.
Yes.
So prepare yourself,
Yes,
man.
yes.
There could be a White House wedding in the next couple of years.
Oh, yes, definitely.
As soon as they find Cousin Billy Bob, there could be a wedding.
Cousin Billy Bob.
Well, the crew members that you're going to meet on the in the course of the show here today.
Crew members.
The crew members.
I don't remember when we took off.
Oh, well, instead of a guest today, we're going to talk to the crew members, the people that have volunteered their time to make this show run for the past year, and 52 episodes of the New Variety Art Show. That is an awful lot. It actually works out to one a week for a year. Even though it may not look like it from time to time, a lot of thought and effort goes into our presentation.
You're kidding.
Yes, and many of the crew members have their own shows that they work on, and I would like to encourage everybody out there to tune in to
You ought
their
to get
shows.
even and work on their shows.
Sometimes I do that, actually. And all the crew members on public access shows like this are volunteer. They have, of course, jobs and families and other obligations, and nobody gets paid to do this. They make a lot of sacrifices and rearrange their schedules and give up other activities in order to be here. We only have 6 hours a month, Van, at Dimension Studios to produce 4 shows at a time. Now, that's anybody in video production knows that that's really cranking. So these folks really give their all to make it happen. It's a very demanding schedule, and I want all of them to know that I really respect them and appreciate their help and their effort through the year. And I want you to meet some of these crew people. So we have one standing by, the guy who really got me started in all this. But don't go away. We're going to have a special number from you a little bit later on. Okay. Right now we're going to go meet Ed Zumak.
Hello, Bradley.
Hello, Ed. Thanks for being here today as we celebrate our 1-year anniversary. It just seems like yesterday, doesn't it?
That we started out doing it.
That we really got started.
Yeah.
I want to tell everybody that you have your own show on public access television.
I appreciate you doing
Why don't
that.
you give it a plug? Go ahead.
All right, it's called Chronicle, and it's basically a talking head show. We try to get interesting people and interesting subjects to talk about, like hypnotherapists and transsexuals, things like that.
Very interesting.
We don't have all these live babes that are on Motor Madness, unfortunately.
Well, that's another show we're going to talk about a little bit later.
Fine.
But I want everybody to know that Ed Zumak is really you're the one that kind of got me involved and started in all of this, because I knew nothing about the facilities and the capabilities of producing here at Dimension Cable until you called me as a result of your involvement with Valley Community Access Television, VCAT.
Yes, VCAT.
And you are still president
Right
of
now,
the
yes.
organization.
Yes.
And VCAT has made a lot of progress in improving public access here in the Valley.
If I may say something, you just talked
Certainly.
about having only 6 hours a month. Due to the efforts of the 400-some members of VCAT, you soon will have 80 hours for nighttime production a month.
That's excellent. That is real progress, and we have to say thanks to Dimension as well for helping out and opening up their studio for more of us to have the opportunity to come in here and produce programming.
Yeah.
So Chronicle is on, well, this will run in January, so we don't know what the schedule is yet for that.
Yeah, it's going to change time.
But watch your public access station for Chronicle.
Yeah.
And thanks for being here, Ed. You've been on the crew here. You've run camera for me. You've floor directed. You've done a lot of...
I'm the guy that's been giving you the finger.
Yes,
remember?
5, 4, 3.
Just so everybody out there knows.
That's right. That's right. And you give the best finger of anybody in the business.
That's nice. I'm glad that's on tape. Okay.
So we want to talk about some of the guests that we've had on the program.
Yeah.
Because we've had between 40 and 50 different people on the show.
Absolutely, yeah.
So you must have a memory of one of the programs that we've had.
As a matter of fact, Troy Neighbors, a fellow whom I've known for 20 years, he was the cowboy who was doing the rope work.
Tried to teach me how to spin a rope.
Yeah.
Not very well either.
Yeah,
but-
you should keep your day job. Yeah. I know, but he's tremendous. I mean, he's known all over the country.
He is very famous. As a
And-
matter of fact, if I can say, the JCs, the national JCs, gave him the Andy Womack Saddle,
That's
which
right.
is a very special award.
It is, yeah, and now that's typical. I was proud that you had him on there, because I've known about him, I've written about him in magazines and all, and because he is such a big figure, I'm glad that he's on your show, and it's typical that that's the kind of people that you bring on your show.
Well, we try to have as interesting guests as you do on Chronicle. I think we don't have the same booking problems though that Arsenio and Jay Leno have.
No,
I don't think we fight over guests quite as much as that. Well, I want to show everybody a little clip of Troy Neighbors, if we can.
Sure.
For those of you that may not have seen it, this is Troy Neighbors. cowboy, rope spinner, clown for the rodeos, and very well known. What a nice guy. And I want you to know that everybody on the crew fought over who was going to introduce Troy Neighbors. Ed won, but we're very glad to have had him here. Let's take a look at Troy Neighbors, and then we'll be back. Thanks. Wow, that's great. Well, can you teach me to spin a rope? I've always wanted to do this. We're going to stand up here, and we're going to see if we can get Troy to show us how to spin a rope. And this ought to be exciting because I have no coordination, as we found out in earlier programs, Van.
Well, this is a magic rope here.
Is this a magic rope?
Yes.
No, that's my business.
I brought this just for you like this here. So I know all you have to do is I know you can get that one going. Now, any time that I spin...
Well, I don't want to show you off here. Oh, by the way, in the clip we saw that 76-foot rope called the wedding band or the wedding ring. Is that a record? Is that
no? 82 foot is the world record.
82.
And then
but I'll bet you could do that.
The last 2 years it's went down to about 70 something. But I don't have enough room in here. But when you do spin a rope, I just wanted to show you something. When you do spin a rope, you have to turn it in your hand. See my thumb and my finger turns that rope.
Oh, I see.
And you see the tail end of that rope going around like this.
It spins
then
around.
when you let it go, the loop just falls out. They're not tied in there in any way.
See.
The only time that rope will, the only time that rope that you don't have to is when you take a rope like this right here and you do a little thing like a butterfly.
Oh, I see.
You wind it back and forth like this right here, and you wind it over here like this here, do it like this right here, up your arm like this, and around behind your head and go over here like this right here, and up like this, and then kind of let her out like this right here. And I didn't unhook this mic back here, and I'm not going to jump all the way in it like I did earlier. But
is this your disco trick?
This is my disco. You take this foot and this goes here. Take the other foot and this goes here, and this goes here. Uh-oh, I did get the cord in it.
That's
I want to see you do yours now.
Okay, well now, let's see. Is this a special kind of rope, or is this what they use on a ring?
This was
no, I mean what the rope is made out of. Is it?
This was a cotton rope. No, this is not what they would use on a range.
Let's see if I can get this going.
You bet.
And
just keep going. Just keep. Look at that.
There we go.
Well, I can tell you right now,
I'm a real cowboy.
You're gonna take my job away from me. I can see that right now.
I don't think. That was Troy Neighbors, and thank you, Troy, for being a guest on our program, and thanks Ed Zumak for getting us started. So he's the one to blame or to take the credit, however you feel about this show. Right now we want to meet Jerry Dobbs. Jerry's been one of our cameramen all through the year. From time to time, probably the second person to jump on board here.
I believe so.
And we met through Valley Community Access Television.
That's right.
You're on the board there?
That's currently, yes, I'm on board.
And we want to tell you how much we appreciate you taking time away from your family to come down here and spend 6 hours a month to help us put on the big broadcast.
Well, I really appreciate being invited, quite honestly. It has been, it's always makes for a long day, as you well know, but everybody that's on the crew really enjoys it. You have one of the most interesting shows that's on with all the talent and different folks, and no matter when you walk in, there's something different happening. We all enjoy that.
Yes, we've had jugglers with balls flying through the air and people in funny costumes dancing and just about everything. So that's,
we're going to miss it.
Yeah,
we are going to
miss it too.
Well, that's a good possibility.
Well, we hope that if you want to continue to see this show, that somebody out there will maybe want to sponsor us. And,
hey, that's a good idea.
Yeah, they can call that number at 8 and give us a call. Jerry, we've had a lot of guests here, as we talked about. One of the shows that you remember.
You had a gentleman on, I believe his name was Andre Cole.
Andre Cole.
Andre Cole, and he did some neat things with a water tank. And
yes, he is a magician, an illusionist, travels with the Campus Crusade for Christ all over the world, works with David Copperfield, I know one of your favorites.
Yes.
And the water tank thing that he does there, that's so he can walk on water. He's recreating a very famous miracle by another fellow that came a few years before him. And he was on the program, and we enjoyed having him. He's a very interesting guest. We could have done 2 half-hour programs with him, really, because he just has so many stories to tell about traveling all over the world. But we'd like to show you a little bit of the interview with Andre Cole, and thanks, Jerry. We'll be back in just a minute.
thank you, Brian.
Some more. Would Uri Geller, the guy that bends keys and spoons with his mind, is this the kind of thing that you're talking about?
That's the type of thing.
Yeah. Now, he claims that he can go up in a helicopter and fly over somewhere and tell you where there's oil. Do you believe him? Can he do it?
No.
No? Can't
Now,
do
he
it.
might do it occasionally, but if you keep track of the records, it's like astrology or the psychics who make the predictions. You keep records, you find they miss about 89%.
I see. So 11% is well within the realm of chance.
Right.
Is that right? Okay. Now, let's talk quickly, because you mentioned this, the psychic surgery. This was fascinating. I've seen photos. I'm sorry you didn't bring them. Maybe next time when you come back, you can bring some photos. These people are performing surgery without making an incision and apparently removing tumors and things.
It looks like they can reach right through the skin of the body, remove the diseased tissues and organs, and as they pull the hand out of the body, the skin apparently closes over and there's no trace of any incision. At least that's the illusion.
Right.
But in my investigations, I found that basically what they do is use some clotted beef's blood that they put in some cotton, and they hide these little cotton balls at various places. Most of the operations take place on the stomach area.
Right.
They use a lot of cotton water. They begin to massage the area, get one of the cotton balls, and they hold the thumb down, and it forms a cavity in the stomach, and they open the cotton ball, remove the disease, the tissue or whatever they had with the cotton ball.
And the tragedy of this is people believe they're cured, but actually nothing has happened, except perhaps the power of the mind telling them that they're cured, they feel better.
It's a tremendous placebo effect.
Right.
So they're not healed by the operations, which are complete fake, but as a result of this powerful psychological effect that these fake
Suggestion.
operations have on these people.
Now, that was Andre Cole, one of our very special guests here on the New Variety Art Show. We were very lucky to have him stop by, and his schedule worked out with ours so he could be here. Right now, we want to introduce Michael Nolan. Michael, thank you for being here. Michael's one of our, well, actually our lighting guy, so to speak, and that's been quite a challenge for you here at
Yes, we've had a lot of problems with the lighting. We've gone from just a few lights in the studio to, by hook and by crook, getting more and more, so we go from a very dark set to one that's halfway decently lit.
Yes, well, I know it's been a challenge, but if you watch some of the reruns coming up this year on this channel, you'll see that some of the earlier shows are a little darker because there weren't quite as many lights in the studio back then. So there has been a lot of improvement. We thank you for doing that. Now, the reason you know a little bit about lighting is because
I am a photographer. I do fine art photography and also commercial photography. As a matter of fact, that's where you and I met when I was doing photography.
Exactly.
And I've done work for stills for this show and for your publicity work. And
That's
I do
right.
commercial work, and I also do fine art work. I've shown at All One House and several other places here in town, studios and private shows, that type of
Very
stuff.
good. Well, we'll look for more of your work around town. Michael Nolan, remember that name. Now, Michael, you have a very special interest in guns and
Yes,
things of that
yes.
nature. I know you have a gun enthusiast.
Yeah, I have an extensive collection of guns, and one of my hobbies, other than shooting a camera, is out shooting a gun at the shooting range. And I just enjoy it. You know, I grew up hunting with my father and all that, and I just carried on from there. And you had a guy on, Rod Wolf, who was a stuntman in one of the Rambo movies. I'm a big Rambo fan and Schwarzenegger fan. And it was really nice to meet the guy and watch you take a few licks with him.
Yes, my head still hurts from that
You got a
encounter with.
you got a mean left hook, though. I was
Well,
impressed.
we worked on that for a little bit. You know, Rod had just gotten back from Tucson the day we taped that show, auditioning his horses for a movie down in Tucson, and after we got through taping, I got to go outside to the trailer and see the horses, and he has them so well trained. They give him kisses, and they open the trailer door and close it, you know, up in the front with their head. It's almost like meeting Mr. Ed. The horse did everything but talk, I think.
Wow.
So, and I learned the secret of how Mr. Ed was made to talk. A lot of people don't know that.
Oh, really? How was
Yeah,
that?
well, that's
a secret. Oh,
Can you
okay.
keep a secret?
I can't know about them.
Well, so can I.
Okay.
So we won't tip that. But
Okay.
anyway, we want to show you a little bit of Rod Wolf, stuntman, Hollywood stuntman that was here and really gave me what for. Thanks, Michael, for being a part of my
bet.
crew. We'll be back. Oh, like that. There we go.
Hey, I think Brad really wants to become a stuntman.
Well, that was my first job with, my fantasy.
You know, but to be a stuntman, you have to be christened.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Now, what's involved
So
with that?
I brought some breakaway bottles.
Oh, now those look like they would hurt somebody.
Well, if you hit them hard enough, they'll break. Let me give you a gut punch.
Now this is
And-
okay.
Let me give you a gut punch, and you react to it, and then I'll christen you with a bottle.
Okay, why
Sound good?
don't we move
Great.
the table around just a little bit so you can get to the...
Oh, I can get to it right
Oh,
here.
okay, all right. So you're gonna
Now,
let me
I'll
have
tell you
it.
what. You throw the same punch, and I'll stomach punch you, and you bend over, and I'll
Okay.
christen you, and then we'll have another stunt man.
I'm glad we only have 2 more shows to do. Okay. Here we
Okay.
go. All right. Ooh! Oh! Ah! Oh! Oh! Ow! 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 My goodness. Now that looks like a real bottle, and that hurt just a little
That-
bit.
That is one of the real bottles.
But now, look, this is just, what is that? That is, we get a close-up of that there? That is,
I don't think they believe you. I think this is what you need to do.
Do we get to see the instant replay of
the glass-eating stunt. Oh, let's have a seat here. Oh,
See, to be a stunt man, you got to be really mean.
I'm dizzy now. We're back. Thank you very much for staying tuned. We're meeting some of the crew members on the New Variety Art Show and showing you some highlights from previous episodes of the New Variety Art Show. And right now we want to introduce Bob Baxter. Bob, thanks for coming by. Bob is also a producer on Public Access, and you have your own show. Why don't you go ahead and tell people about that real briefly?
Yeah, I do have a show, as Brad said. Several of the people here on the crew do. My show is called What's Next with Bob Baxter, and I wouldn't be surprised if some of the people watching may have seen it. And I thank you for mentioning it.
I hope so. I hope so. And you've also done other special projects with some of the bike riders, motorbike riders
Yes.
in town, and various other projects. So
That's true, yeah.
in addition to your regular show, What's Next? So we want to thank you. You've been a loyal crew member. You take a lot of time, and I know you have other commitments, and you come down here and spend time to help us do that. So.
Well, I do that, it's true. Like you said, I help out on other crews, and I want to say, well, I have to say, well, because it's written in the script and it's on the cue cards, that you are one of the more professional producers here in Public Access, and it's always a pleasure working here.
Well, I appreciate that.
Never boring.
You're very kind.
Except once.
Well, I tell you what, you have a lifelong affection for a very famous entertainer, so I think I might know who your favorite guest was on the program.
Anybody who knows anything about me probably would guess. And before you say who that is, I might mention, I think, depending on when the show airs, his birthday is January 8th. I think he'll be 58 years old. Speaking about birthdays, I don't know if you know, but today's my birthday.
Well, happy birthday, Bob, and
thanks.
I'm not buying it. Now, of course, we're talking in January. The famous birthday in January is
Elvis Presley.
Elvis Presley. And we had a young man here who we talked about on the show just last week.
You bet.
And it was Tim Wade. Tim Wade, and he came in and sang as Elvis.
Did a heck of a job. Really, a heck of a job, yes.
I've had a lot of people that were Elvis fans that have heard him sing come up. A lot of them have argued with me that he was lip-syncing to an Elvis record. I mean,
I can believe it.
That's how good.
I taped a show. I know we don't have much time. I taped, just by coincidence, somebody sponsored a show that was held in the Metro Mall somewhere around 87, I believe. And he happened to be in the show. Now, he didn't win first place, but in my opinion, he probably should have. I mean, he looked like Elvis, sang like Elvis, and he did a real good job, just as he did on your show.
But he looks like a young Elvis because he's very slim, and you know, the Elvis the way we like to remember Elvis.
Speak for yourself.
So we're going to take a little look at Tim Wade as Elvis. Thanks, Tim, for being here, and thank you, Bob Baxter.
You bet.
Don't forget What's Next with Bob Baxter.
Thank you.
My darling, be mine tonight. Well, tomorrow will be too late. It's now or never. My love won't away. Just like a willow, we would cry an ocean if we lost true love and sweet devotion. It's been a night time waiting for the right time. For who knows when we'll meet again, no distant way. It's now or never. Come hold me tight, kiss me, my darling, be mine tonight. Yeah, tomorrow will be too late. It's now or never, my love. heaven, my love won't wait. It's now heaven, my love won't wait. It's now heaven, my love won't wait.
Okay, that was a little bit of Tim Wade as Elvis, and thanks Bob Baxter for being here. Right now we want to meet Bruce Pope. Bruce, thanks for being here.
Thank you,
You've
Brad.
been on the crew almost from the beginning as well.
Right.
We met through VCAT, Valley Community Access Television.
That's correct.
And you are working on a production of your own.
Well, the one I have running currently is called Arizona Insight, which deals with social issues in Arizona. The most usual topic right now is Arizona State University and the employees over there who are eligible for food subsidies and food stamps. And we put this on the air to encourage them to actually take advantage of those opportunities, because a lot of them don't know that they are eligible. The state has constantly gone down as far as salaries and...
Right. And your interest in that is that you work at Arizona State University.
Well, yes, I'm not one of the ones that qualifies, but there's a lot of people around me that are suffering. I'm trying to make sure that they stay with the university and keep their jobs and are able to do it and eat.
Very good. Well, good luck. And one of the other projects that you've worked on is something called Christmas in April.
Right.
And maybe some people out there have seen that show as well.
Right. Christmas in April is when the people at the university went down and shared their skills and talents to help rebuild a schoolyard at a school in Central Phoenix. They also helped rebuild some houses with a program called Christmas in April. It's a national program, and they're going to do it again next year. So you guys keep an eye out for Arizona State University employees in association with a lot of other corporations and Christmas in April.
Well, we'll look for another edition of Christmas in April. Also, you have a handyman series that someday you're hoping to get off the ground.
The handyman, we've got the pilot, we've got it all
nail
set
boards
up.
and fix screws and wires. Let's talk about your latest production.
Well,
We've mentioned this on the show before, and we were hoping to get her here, but...
I'm glad you asked about that, and I'm going to give you the picture to show,
Okay.
because you've got steadier hands than I do.
This is Emily?
This is Emily Elise.
Emily
She was
Elise.
born August 20th. She was 7 pounds, 5.5 ounces. And we couldn't bring her down tonight because, unlike the Tonight Show or Arsenio, we tape late at night, and she's asleep right now.
Oh, she's sleeping right now. Will you tell Pearl congratulations on that, and thanks for being a part of the crew. Do you have a favorite memory of the New Variety Art Show? Do you have somebody that stands out in your mind? That,
Well, let me tell you a long story very shortly. I was watching...
Please, because we're just about out of time.
I was watching Comic Strip Live. I saw a comedian by the name of Michael Finney, great comedian. I went down to the last laugh. I saw the same comedian, Michael Finney. Then when I came down here to help you out one night, there's Michael Finney. And by God, he was good all 3 times I saw him, and he's one of the more outstanding comedians you
we
have
were
on the show.
real fortunate to get Michael because he's usually on the road quite a bit. We did a 2-parter with Michael, 2 half-hour segments with him, and he just recently signed a 5-month contract with Trump's Castle in Atlantic City, so he'll be there through May. If you get back there, be sure to look him up, tell him we said hello from the New Variety Art Show. We're going to show a little clip of Michael Finney, and Bruce, we want to thank you for being a part of the crew. Take care, and we'll be right back after this. About how a comedian develops his material, because we were talking last time you heard about structure and joke writing and that kind of thing. Take us through how you come up with some of the material that you do in your act, which is hysterically funny, by the way.
Well, I have to say that most of it, at least from my point of view, I don't do anything political. I can't do political humor because I don't understand it. You know, I'm still trying to program my VCR. So
still flashing 12, is it?
I don't do political stuff. I don't do anything strenuous, anything, you know, too emotionally involved. I try to just pick on my everyday life experiences that I've had. A good example, I think, right from my childhood, is the worst experience on a bicycle.
Oh yes, I remember.
You know, I
remember
wrote
this
about
routine. I've seen you do
bicycles.
this, and absolutely lays out a nightclub audience.
And it's just a matter. It's a real life incident that every young man growing up has slipped off of his bicycle pedal and hit that crossbar, and not with his hand. And so this was one thing that I started writing on. I do things about traveling with my parents. I enjoyed it because we had a station wagon and my dad couldn't reach us in the back of the station wagon.
So that was a safe bet.
Yeah, but he could have stopped the car.
Yeah, and I do a joke about that because my brother and I would sit up in the back bench seat and start taunting my father. Are we there yet? Or when are we going to get there? I bet if I was driving, we'd already been there. And at 65 miles an hour, he'd step on the brakes and then let off. Well, you're here now, aren't you? And I'm right there in the front seat pulling a rearview mirror out of my mouth. I think for me, it's just drawing off my own personal experience and growing.
So, having a laugh with Michael Finney. Thanks, Michael, and congratulations on your great success. I'm sure we'll see more of you around television. Now, we want to say hello to Warren Cole.
Brad, how you doing?
Pretty good. Warren works down at St. Joseph's Hospital in the Media Services Department, kind of heads that up, and do all the video production work down there, and you've been a part of my crew as well for the past few months. And you have your own show on public access television called Motor Madness. Why don't you tell folks about that?
Motor Madness, yeah. It's well, it's just a little bit better than the New Variety Art Show, but only because we equal it out a little more. You know, with we have more women on our show probably than the New Variety Art Show.
Oh, I see.
But you know, I've seen some in the past on the New Variety Art Show that you know. You keep up a little bit
we try. I mean, we try to give equal time to all different types of performers here. But Motor Madness is about cars and boats and.
But we specifically feature the girls on our show.
That's right, as models. Video models and spokesmodels.
Right. We go out of our way to uncover the best-looking women in the valley.
And sometimes succeed.
Exactly.
Well, I think you're probably more in competition with Bob Baxter on What's Next than you are with us. But we have had some very pretty ladies on this show, and that leads up to the next clip I guess we're going to see.
That's true. You have had some, and one of my more favorite ones were the Polynesian dancers.
Yes, Ayakanis, Polynesian dancers. We had, golly, Van, do you remember we had like 4 or 5 dancers and
a lot of grass flying all over the place.
We had to get a lawnmower in here afterwards to clean up. But yeah, the Ayakanis dancers, and that was our kind of like our attempt to get some lovely ladies in here and let them dance and kind of compete with you. So let's take a look at the Ayakanis, Polynesian dancers, and we'll be back. Thanks, Warren. Appreciate all your help. That was the Ayakanis Polynesian Dancers. Once again, I want to say thanks to Warren Cole for all his help and support. And be sure and tune in to Motor Madness. You'll enjoy it. Right now, we want to say hi to Kim Wells.
How you doing, Brad?
Real fine. Glad to have you back.
Well, thanks a lot.
Now, you are in a kind of a different position or situation because you're not only been helping out on the New Variety Art Show, you've also been a guest on the show.
Oh, yes, I have. Yes, I have. It was a lot of fun. It wasn't too long ago, as a matter of fact.
That's right, with Pat Holcomb, and the two of you were here.
It was the Halloween special.
The Halloween special, and you did some coin magic?
Sleight of hand magic, yeah.
Now, you told me that a lot of people recognize you. Came up and said...
yeah, as a matter of fact, it was very interesting. A lot of people down at the post office came up and said, hey, I was flipping through the channels, and there you were. And They were, you know, aghast. We didn't realize you were so good. We just thought you were showing off all these years. So,
well, you are good, and we're glad that you shared your talent with us here on the New Variety Art Show. Also, at the Violuna, you've had people recognize you there. And
right. And now I'm out at Maryland's in Scottsdale and Paradise Valley Mall on the weekends, occasionally out there.
Doing some close-up sleight of hand?
Doing close-up walk-around sleight of hand magic, correct.
So hopefully people will come out and see you there.
And, yeah.
Well, we appreciate your help on the New Variety Art Show, and you're also, one of your interests is in becoming a stand-up comedian, doing magic and comedy.
Right.
So I can imagine we've had a few comedians on the show.
You know, a lot of
people...
people...
have a favorite?
Yeah, I do. There was a guy on here, I'm very much into impressionists, and lately everybody's been hearing a lot about Dana Carvey, of course, from Saturday Night Live, and James Carey from In Living Color, and these guys are fabulous, no doubt, but Brad, when I saw Paul Lennon in this studio a few months ago, I was in total hysterics. The guy is a scream, and he does a real wicked Jerry Lewis, something I've never seen before.
Jerry Lewis. I hope we have that on tape. I know he did a lot of impressions that day with the band, and did a song. So we'll see if we can come up with that clip for you. But
well, Paul was fabulous, and
you know, and he's doing cruise ships, and he's down in Hawaii this month in January. He's going to be in Hawaii. Dirty job, but somebody's got to do it. So, Kim, thanks again for all your help. We appreciate it. We're going to take a little look at Paul Lennon, and we'll be back. Don't go away.
It's Nelson Riddle. Okay, this is Nelson. Let's start with a little Frank, okay? Give me Ladies a Tramp in the key of C. Is that a good key? All right. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hey, baby, what's shaking? She gets too hungry for dinner at 8. Now my chick digs the theater, but won't fly late. She'd never bother with those people she hates, and that is why Kitty Kelly, she is a tramp. Come on, Dean, grab her. She loves the free, fresh, wind in her hair. Oh, her life is all without care. Oh, this chick's broke. Here's Sammy Davis, who doesn't think crap games with Sharpies and frauds. And that's why the lady is, that's why the lady is, that's why the lady is a tramp. I like it. Whoa, I like it.
Aldine.
Thank you, my man. Thank you.
Oh, that's great.
Thank you,
I love it. Oh, thank you.
Yeah, and I left out a little piece there, didn't I? You followed me so well.
Oh.
So well.
Well, listen, we only ask the best people to come in here and work for free.
Yeah. Probably moving van for nothing.
A moving van?
Right.
Oh, gee, everybody's a comedian today.
He plays on all the keys.
See you rub off on us. We have.
That was Paul Lennon, and thank you, Kim Welch, for being here and helping out on the New Variety Art Show. Right now, we want to meet Matt Parks. Matt, thanks for being here.
Hey, Brad, how you doing?
Appreciate it. You and I actually met through Warren Cole.
Yeah.
You're a friend of Warren's, and I guess your mutual interest is in automobiles and cars and that sort of thing.
Yeah, I work in an auto parts warehouse and stuff.
Uh-huh. And you help out on Motor Madness as well as our show.
Yeah, I sure do.
And we appreciate you coming down. And you have a wife and family that you take time away from to come out and help us with this.
Yeah.
So I appreciate the sacrifice. And
Yeah, I just enjoy doing it. I help out on quite a few different shows, and just, it's fun. I don't know.
Do you think that's something that you'll want to do in the future?
Yeah.
As maybe a job?
Yeah, I think I'd like to try and get into video production.
Okay, well, if you have a job for Matt Parks, please call our number and hire Matt. Matt is one of the hardest working members of our crew, and we give him a lot of trouble, but we really do appreciate his time. Matt, we've been talking about some of the people that have been on New Variety Art Show, some of the different performers. Perhaps there's one that you might remember that we could take a look at.
I like the Trick Ropers. There was two of them. Don Eagle, is that
Don
his name?
Eagle and his wife Lydia, yes.
Yeah.
And
They're real good.
Yeah, they live here in the valley, and Don was a stunt man, a stunt double, and as he got a little older, he, of course, he always did the trick roping and everything, but the stunt work's a little tougher now to come by, and it's very dangerous, as we talked about with Rod Wolf. And Don's doing a trick roping act and a whip act with his wife Lydia. I don't know how she puts up with that, but I guess she does. Anyway, we want to thank you again for all your hard work. We're going to take a little clip, a little look at a clip of Don Eagle and Lydia, and we'll be back. Your holding these whips in your hands.
Right.
We don't have a lot of room in this studio.
I really couldn't work it in here. I might hurt something.
But tell me about these whips. Tell me about this act that you've developed.
This is a whip that's made in Mexico.
Can I?
Sure, you can hold it. Sure.
Okay.
And it's about 8 foot long. We use it for the smaller shows.
Look, Van, a snake.
And we use that. We use that in our act quite a bit because we work a lot of the better resorts, and they don't have a lot of room to work.
You probably don't have any trouble with hecklers then.
No, we really don't. Now, the reason the whip makes a sound is the popper is actually breaking the sound barrier. So if it did hit someone, it really could cut them.
It really would.
You really could cut them open,
So,
but we use that a lot.
Now, what are whips used for generally? I mean, besides keeping the men in line, what are they used for?
Cowboys use them, particularly in Australia. They do some here too. They use them to drive cattle. Not to hurt cattle, just to make the noise and drive them and steer them and get to where they want.
So those of you that have seen City Slickers know that you do not turn on an electric coffee grinder or crack a whip unless you want the bulls to move.
And this whip here is about 12 foot long. It's made in the United States. It's made out of Latigo.
Oh, okay. This is a little lighter. This is a little lighter.
Yeah.
This is heavier.
This whip here is what they call a performer's whip.
Now this looks like snake skin. I mean,
it's kangaroo.
This is kangaroo.
Yeah, that comes from Australia. And give you an idea, you're holding $315.
On
here,
just
this
one
whip.
whip.
Yeah. It's 16 plat.
Yeah, but think what it's worth to the kangaroo.
Yeah, really, it's worth a lot more. Yeah, that's why they're so expensive. Trying to protect them now, But it's very accurate. This whip is the most accurate of all three.
Yeah.
But
that was Don Eagle and Lydia. I thought we were going to have kind of, some sentimentality about the end of this show, but
none.
No, not this crew. Well, anyway, we want you to meet now on camera my wife. This is Brenda.
Hi.
Thank you, my dear. Thank you all year long, and even before that, in the planning stages, you've been helping out with the new Variety Art Show, and I want you to know that I sincerely appreciate all the help that you've been, because you do more than just run the graphics, and
I decorate the set. I do the makeup for everybody. I've been known to punch in the graphics as well. Frank does a lot of that, though. I do miking people with the microphone sound.
And a lot of labeling of tapes.
Yes, a lot of
and doing paperwork. So there's a lot of work as my associate producer, and I appreciate that
You're welcome.
very much. Now, a lot of people out there may recognize you for some of the other things that you do, because you are a variety arts performer in your own right.
This is true. This is true. And he never had me on the show, I'll tell you that much. Yes, I do several things.
I'm having you on now.
Oh, great.
Well, why don't you tell people what you do? Get in your plug.
I am Cuddles the Clown. I have been clowning since about 1974. I do that, and I also read tarot cards for conventions and private parties.
This is the fortune-telling cards.
Correct.
And you also do palm reading.
Yes, I've gotten into that as well.
And I must say she is amazingly accurate with her predictions. So
yeah.
I don't know what's in the cards for the new Variety Art Show. Maybe we'll
reruns of it. Oh, excuse me, encore performances.
Encore performances of the new Variety Art Show.
This is true.
Well, you've been here for every single taping, and you've seen all of the guests and everything, and I know that you have a particular favorite.
I think my favorite has to be Margaret Pellegrini. She's an amazing woman. I don't know if she's in her mid to late 60s, but she is one of the original Munchkins from the original Wizard of Oz, and she's the sweetest lady you'd ever want to meet. I think she'd give you the shirt off her back if given the opportunity, but she's a wonderful, wonderful lady.
And she was here for our Christmas special.
Yes, she was just here
with Santa.
Santa as a little elf.
Yes, so people can see her around town as the elf, or perhaps they've seen her interviewed on other more widely circulated shows like Larry King and some of those as Margaret as herself as one of the original Munchkins.
She's really an adorable woman.
So, and we had a little mishap when she was on the show, but we've since corrected that. Anyway, we're going to take a little look at a clip. I've done that twice now of Margaret Pellegrini. We'll be right back. Thanks, Brenda. I want to ask you a couple questions. First of all, real quick, how was Toto? Toto seemed
he was a well-trained dog.
It looked like he was having as much fun as the actors were.
Yeah, he should.
Yeah.
He made more money than I did.
Is that a fact?
Yes. I made $50 a week, my room and board and transportation. He made $125 a week.
And probably had a bigger dressing room, too.
Yeah. So he must have knew somebody. I didn't.
Oh, my goodness. Well, now tell us about working with Judy Garland. Was she was at this time, she was not much older than you at that time.
Judy Garland was 16 years old. Her birthday is June the 10th. And I was 15 in September, and she was 16 in July. I mean, in June. Yes, in June.
Yeah. And was she, did you get the sense that this was a great star?
Oh, yes, she was just as sweet as she could be. She would sit on the yellow brick road and talk to us. Of course, a lot of them had more experience in show business than I did. So we'd all sit down on the yellow brick road, and she would tell us some of her experiences, and then I would tell her some of my, they would tell some of their experiences, because I didn't have that much experience in show business. Yeah. But she gave us each and every one 8x10 picture of her. She bought a beautiful, big, huge box of candy. Oh. I mean, it was one of the biggest I'd seen in my days. And we all had a little piece of candy, and it says, "Sweets to the Sweets." Oh, that was her Christmas present to us.
Now, thank you, Margaret Pellegrini, for being a part of our show here on the New Variety Art Show, and thank you, Brenda, for all your help. Now, another person that has been in the booth virtually every show that we've done here is our director, Frank Freeman. Here he comes now. Now, Frank doesn't have time to sit down with us because he's directing the show as we speak. So here, don't say anything yet. We have to get you clipped up there.
Yeah,
there we go.
There we go. How you doing, Brad?
Real fine. Thank you very much for a year's worth of very dedicated effort.
Yeah, we've tried.
Yeah.
We put some good shows together. And
you and I went to high school together. We've known each other for a long time.
Alhambra High School, graduated way back, in the mid-'70s.
Mid-'70s, yeah.
Ancient times.
And we kind of lost track of each other for 10 years until the high school reunion.
High school reunion,
and
right.
And so that's coming up again in a couple of years. So frightening,
scary,
isn't it?
That's real frightening.
Now you do a lot of production, a lot of different shows. Why don't you just quick some of the titles that people may recognize?
Oh, gee, we work.
Everybody's
the whole crew waving at me. I work with Bob Baxter. I work with Warren Cole and Ed Zumak. We do Motor Madness. What's Next with Bob Baxter?
30-minute showcase.
30-minute showcase is basically my production. We do some shoots out in the field of tractor pulls and
the motor shows with the old engines.
Yeah, the old engines and
60-minute cavalcade.
That's something that you and I work together, different shows, put stuff that we do for 1 hour format. It was a 1 hour formatted show. That
right,
we could
and that's what this show is going to run.
That's where we're running. It's, in case you don't know, it's 7 o'clock Friday night. You're watching us right now.
Yeah.
So that's real good.
Very good. Well, we appreciate your effort in the booth and all the...
Have a good time.
Yeah.
I get to yell at you for a change.
That's right. And, that's right. I don't often let him do that. And you do, you punch in a lot of the graphics, and then you and Brenda do that together, and so that's a lot of work. And you also help run public access in Prescott.
We do public access in Prescott, do production up there on Channel 13. That's where you'll be seeing this also.
Right.
And Jeff Robertson runs us up there, and really nice to have Jeff. He's a good studio to work in, and we have a good time.
Great.
So
now, what's one of your favorite memories of the New Variety Art shows?
Gee, actually, all the shows we've
besides the machine that ate the videotape that one night.
Yeah, that was an exciting thing. It was like, wow, what's going on here? But no, we had W.C. Fields on.
Yes, that was one of our last shows that we did.
That's right, and that's one of the ones that I thought was really good, because I like the old movies. I'm an old movie buff. I have the films.
You have hundreds of old movies.
Yes, we have a lot of tapes to sit back and watch.
Yeah, and you're a big fan of W.C. because when I told you we were going to have W.C. Fields on, you brought me a couple of books out of your library, so I could do some research and that kind of stuff. So I really appreciated that. The Bruce Miles from the Mill Avenue Theater is who that was, performing as W.C. Fields. Let's take a look at a little clip of Bruce Miles as W.C. Fields. Thanks, Frank.
All right, Brett.
Now, one of the other vaudeville acts that you worked with was Edgar Bergen and Charlie McCarthy.
Ah, yes.
The ventriloquist. Of course, most people today would know Edgar Bergen as Candace Bergen's father, but that was
Mr. Brown.
Mr. Brown, exactly. Yes. What was your relationship with Edgar Bergen? And might I interject that a lot of people may not know this either, and that was Edgar Bergen was a very fine magician.
He was a very fine magician until it came to his lips. He couldn't get him to stop moving when he was playing with the puppets. Yes. But no, he was a very fine magician and a very fine friend, except for that little termite high-rise that he had as his partner. Woodpecker's Feast, we called him, Charlie McCarthy.
Charlie McCarthy. Now, you had quite a feud with Charlie McCarthy.
You might say so. He'd use lines on me. I remember the time he said, Mr. Fields, I understand you were standing at the corner of Hollywood and Vine, and 40 cars were waiting there for your nose to change. But nonetheless, I kept looking at him with the greatest admiration and with my whittling knife every chance I got.
Thank you, Bruce Miles, for being a part of our show. W.C. Fields was sort of our mascot throughout the entire year of the New Variety Art Show. And somebody else that kind of joined us about 13 weeks in, but then became a regular staple of the New Variety Art Show is Van Corton. And Van, thank you very much. You've been a trooper and a professional the whole way through, and you really have been a great foil, somebody for me to bounce ideas off of.
A staple of foil.
Reynolds wrap, I don't know, something. But you've been very gracious to come down here and give of your time to be part of it.
I've learned a lot. How to say no.
Yes, I remember that show.
Yes.
And you got to see quite a number of the guests come through here.
Oh, yes. I've seen quite a few guests come through here. Remember the Aloha Jugglers?
Yes, we had balls everywhere.
Yeah. But really, out of the whole group, my favorite has to be David Barker, the mime and educator from ASU.
Yes, professor of theater out there.
He not only impressed me with his communication skills, which helped set up what we were going to do. You know, he asked me to play under him, and he did a mime routine, which he knew what he was going to do, but he's so excellent at it, I felt like it was rehearsed. I could just do the right thing by accident because he was so good.
Yeah, made it easy for you.
Yeah, it was incredible.
Right. Well, David Barker has been doing shows around the valley, and you look for him because if you get a chance to see him in a production, go out and see him. But right now we're going to show you a little clip of his appearance here on the New Variety Art Show, and when we come back, Van is going to favor us with a song. Hey, get down from there. Oh no, look out, he's going to jump. That was David Barker, mime from ASU Theater and well-known Valley performer. And right now we wanted to take a moment in our anniversary show to give our very good friend, our musical director, Van Corton, an opportunity to sing for you once more. He's got a lovely, beautiful voice, and he sings around town as well as playing keyboard. And he has a special song he'd like to dedicate to his wife, Ruth, who's also been a guest on our program. So, Van, I'll let you introduce it, and thanks again for being here.
Thank you. Well, like most variety artists, our other half, our shadow, the one that is not on the camera, often gets forgotten, whether it be the husband of or the wife of. And so just to remember and to remind ourselves who's really who in this picture, I'd like to dedicate this to my wife, who, by the way, when I started this, we had just been married several weeks, I believe, and now it's almost a year. So this is for Ruthie.
It must have been cold there in my shadow to never have sunlight on your face. You were content to let me shine. You always walked the step behind. I was the one with all the glory, while you were the one with all the sweat. Only a face without a name. I never once heard you complain. Did you ever know that you're my hero and everything I'd like to be? I can fly higher than you. You are the wind beneath my wings. It might have appeared to go unnoticed. I have it all here in my heart. to let me shine. You always walk a step behind. Did you ever know that you're my hero? And everything I'd like to be. I can fly higher than the eagle, 'cause you are the wind beneath my wings. You are the wind, you are the wind, you are the wind beneath my wings.
Just beautiful, Van, just beautiful.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
You know, you remind me a little bit of Richard Kiley. You have that wonderful...
I've got that goatee.
I guess that must be what it is. Well,
you.
again, thank you for all of the dedication that you've shown.
I've really enjoyed it.
Well, I've enjoyed it,
Let's do it again. When are we going to have the reunion show?
Well, we'll talk about that.
Okay.
In the meantime, folks, we hope that you've enjoyed this look back at our year of programs here on the New Variety Arts Show. We want you to know that we'll be running all 52 regular weekly programs again as an encore presentation during the year of 1993. If you've just found us, or if you'd like to see one of your favorites again, please continue tuning in on the New Variety Arts Show on this public access station. Unfortunately, all we can tell you is just watch your local schedule to see if you can find us, because as we often do, we have no clue around here when we're going to be on. And if you want to call us to find out, we do have a phone number you can reach us at once again, and for the last time. That number is 602-841-6507. If you're interested in seeing us develop this perhaps into a professional, or not a professional, but a program into this program into one that could be seen on commercial TV and perhaps have a chance to be a sponsor or something like that, give us a call, won't you? We'd like to give that a shot. Finally, thanks once again to my loyal and hardworking crew. Any producer would be very, very pleased to have them working for them. They've put up with a lot of abuse and made a lot of sacrifices to be here for the last year. On my own behalf, I want to say that this has been a marvelous opportunity for me to learn a new skill and develop a whole new set of friends and to make some lasting friends and meet a whole bunch of interesting people. But I want you to know that I'm not going away. I'm just getting started. This has been my goal when I started this show, to do 52 episodes, and that's what we've done, and now this is our final wrap-up show. But it's time now to give everybody a chance to get back to a normal life. But I'll be seeing you around town performing magic, or maybe again on television, and when I do, and when I come back with another show, if I do, I hope that you'll be as gracious in allowing us into your homes as you have been this past year on the New Variety Arts Show. And finally, I want to say this. Variety Arts performers are very hardworking, bright, intelligent people. And the reason that I've done this show is because I believe that they deserve the dignity and respect that is oftentimes accorded to other branches of the performing arts, but not always to variety arts performers. I hope that you've learned something, and I hope that you've been entertained. And for now, I want to say thank you all for allowing me into your lives. Good night, and God bless.